Okay, so this is just a review of the 3 ways to write a linear function given 2 points. So our only example is -5, 1, and 1, -2. So the very first way that you can do this is the point slope form. You are given 2 points and you can use either of the two. Your only problem now is to look for the slope. So the way we look for the slope is we're going to find the formula, which is m equals y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1, and you're gonna number them. So x1 y1, x2 y2, and I'm just gonna plug. So y2 is -2. The minus is in the formula. The y1 is a 1, so I'll just write it down. All over x2 is a 1, and x1 is a -5, so minus a -5. It won't matter, guys. You may or may not write the parentheses. So let's fix this. So I already told you before that if you have something like that, then it's gonna become a -3. All over double negative means a plus, so that's really 1 plus 5. This is now gonna turn into a -3 over a 6. I'm sorry. Okay, -3 over a 6. So your m is a fraction of -1/2 when you reduce that by 3. So this is your rise and this is your run, and it tells you that your line is going down because it's negative. So let's try to set this up. So your point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So y is fixed, don't touch that. Minus is fixed. Your y1 is let's just use this, but actually you can use either. Since this is already numbered as your y1, let's just use that. So that is y1 equals your m is a -1/2. Your x is fixed, minus is fixed. Your x1 is a -5. So here I showed it to you where I put the parentheses. Here I'm just kind of play around with this, and I will let you know now that double negative will still be a positive. So let's fix this. This is going to become y minus 1 equals -1/2 x plus 5. And that is it. This is already your point slope form equation. So after the point slope form equation, the easiest way to go is by doing the slope intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. So your only goal is to make sure that your y is isolated. So let's go ahead and do that. So y minus 1 equals -1/2 x plus 5. Well, before we isolate the y, I want to point out that you have a denominator of 2, and you want to get rid of that. And the way to get rid of that is by multiplying all of these by 2. Whatever you do on the right, you do on the left. Okay, now, please understand that this is a times. So because it's a times, this 2 right here makes it automatically become a 1, because that is kind of gonna become 2 over 2 because there's a denominator of 1. Okay, so that automatically goes away, and on this side what you will have is a -1 x plus 5. That's what you're gonna have. Now on this side right here, understand that that's a minus. Because that's a minus, then this 2 will have to be distributed to them, like how you learned it in your lower grades. So that now is going to be looking like this. So let's simplify further. 2y minus 2, when you multiply, equals, and then you multiply as well, -x minus a 5, because that's -1 times 5. Alright, so now let us isolate our y. This now is going to become 2y equals -x minus 5 plus 2, because the 2 goes to the other side. So now, if we fix this, look at this, you can combine them. Different signs you will have to minus. And so now this becomes negative x minus a 3. And that's a 2y. We're not fully done because you want the y to be by itself. So divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2, making this become y equals negative 1/2 x minus 3 over 2. Okay, so this now represents my slope. So this is your slope. And this is your y-intercept. Okay. Okay, guys, last and final linear form is the standard form, which is, sorry about that, ax plus by equals c. There are some restrictions that we have to keep in mind. A and b must be integers, meaning to say they cannot be a fraction. You can't have a fraction for a and b. And another is that a cannot be negative. So with that in mind, we are going to work our way from here to go to the standard form. So let's do that right now. So y equals negative 1/2 x minus 3 over 2. You see that? And you see that ax? Negative 1/2 x. So this is your a right here. The one in front of the y is your b. And this is your c. That's how it goes, okay? We need to get rid of the 2 at the bottom because we cannot have a fraction. It has to be an integers. So we're going to multiply this by 2. So all of them, okay? Multiply by 2. All of them, including this 2. You go ahead and distribute that. So it will be multiplied. So this now is going to become 2y equals negative 1x. Take a moment to understand why, because this 2 will cancel out the 2 at the bottom. But this is distributive, so this 2 also will cancel out the 1 at the bottom. So that's going to become negative 3. Okay, the 2 will go away. This has a 1 at the bottom, so you just have to multiply. So that's how it looks like. And we just have to set it up where it looks like ax plus by equals c. So watch and see how I do it. You see how it's a negative x? You can't have a negative a. So I will move this to the front. And it will become positive 1x plus 2y equals negative 3. And that's it. This is already your standard form.